Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel SAP Formula. In this video, let us cover 16 most important fields in pricing procedure. This is very commonly asked interview question. Doesn't matter whether you are a trained fresher or having 3+ years of experience, definitely they're going to ask one or two questions on this pricing procedure and the fields in pricing procedure. So people assume this to be a very difficult concept, but I am sure after watching this video completely, this will be one of the easiest concept in SD. Now coming to ECC, we have 16 fields in pricing procedure, but coming to HANA, okay? But coming to S4 HANA, we have 17 fields, okay? One field is added in S4 HANA. Now the functionality of these 16 fields and the functionality in HANA both are same. Okay, there is no difference. So whatever the functionality that we have in ECC for the 16 fields, the same functionality will have in S4 HANA as well. But the difference between ECC and S4 HANA is that one field is added in S4 HANA. Now, what is that 17th field that we have in S4 HANA? Let us see at the end of this session. Okay, so this is the difference, that's all. So in interview also they will ask, so how many fields that we have in S4 HANA? So in S4 HANA, we have 17 fields, and going for ECC, we have 16 fields. Okay. So if you want to represent yourself in the interview that you have worked in both ECC and HANA, so definitely they will ask you this difference. Okay. What is the difference between ECC and S4 HANA pricing structure? Okay. Pricing structure. So you have to tell we have 16 fields in ECC and 17 fields in S4 HANA. Okay. Now, what are the 16 most important fields we have in ECC? Let us see. So first one, we have step. Second one, we have counter. Third one, we have condition type. Fourth one, we have description. Fifth one, we have from. Sixth one is to. Seventh one, manual. Eighth one, required. Ninth one, statistical. Tenth one is print. 11th one is subtotal. 12th is a requirement. 13th is alternative calculation type, 14th is alternative base type, 15th is account key, and 16th is accruals. Now, why all these 16 steps are so important in the pricing structure? And see, each and every step has its own role as well as functionality to bring any value into sales order. So now let us see in detail about the functionality of this 16 fields. Okay. And if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe because it will help you to give the notification of my upcoming video. So now let us quickly get into SAP and let us see what is the structure of pricing procedure and also how this pricing procedure is determined into sales order. Let us see. So now what is a transaction code to create sales order? So I'll go to VA01 screen. Now I will create one new sales order. I want to see what is a pricing procedure that system is taking. Okay, click enter. Now go to sold. Now enter the sold to party, enter the PO number. Now enter the material and enter the order quantity. Click enter. Okay. Now see whether the plant has been determined into sales order or not. Now double click on this line item. Now go to condition tab. If you see some pricing procedure has been determined into sales order. See, now I'll go back. Now I will go to header. So here also you can say what is a pricing procedure that system has determined into sales order. Now, how this pricing procedure is determined into sales order. See, I have already covered this, how the pricing procedure is determined into sales order. But again, I'm telling you because this is a very important topic. So I'll go to OVKK. So we have a transaction which is called as OVKK. Okay. So go to OVKK and this is how the pricing procedure is determined to sales order. So based on the sales organization, based on the document pricing procedure and based on the customer pricing procedure. So now I'll go to position. Now what is my sales organization? ZZ01 is my sales organization. Distribution channel is ZW. Division is ZL. Document pricing procedure, if I'm not wrong, A, and customer pricing procedure is 1. Click enter. Okay. So if you see, this is my sales area. This is a document pricing procedure and this is the customer pricing procedure and this is my pricing procedure. So this is how the pricing procedure is determined into sales document. Okay. So now we have this order type, right? So in this order type, so I'll copy this order type. I'll go to /OVOV8. I'll go to VOV8. Okay. Now go to positions. Go to positions. Now give the sales document. Now double click on this sales document. If you see, we have document pricing procedure A. Correct. Now, if I double click on this sold to party, okay, select the partner. Okay. So I will select the partner. So I will select the partner and I will double click on this. Okay, so not here. So what I will do, we have something called here display sold to party. Okay, I will click on display sold to party. I will go to sales area. Here, I'll go to sales area data. Now, if you see, this is the customer pricing procedure. So now how this pricing procedure is determined into sales order. So based on sales area, based on document pricing procedure and based on customer pricing procedure. So this is the pricing procedure which system has determined into sales order. Okay. So hope you understood how the sales or how the pricing procedure is determined into sales order. The pricing procedure is determined into sales order based on the pricing procedure, based on the sales area. Okay. So based on this sales area. Okay. Here you can see if I go to sales tab, if you go to sales tab, this is my sales area. Okay. This is my sales area. And in this order type, we have document pricing procedure. And in this customer, we have customer pricing procedure. So based on this, the pricing procedure is determined into sales order. Now I want to see what are the condition types I have in this pricing procedure. So I'll go to slash and v slash 08. Okay, I'll go to slash and v slash 08. So now in this, what is my pricing procedure? So I'll go to position and I will give Z, 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 Z. Okay. Now this is my pricing procedure. So if I select this pricing procedure, if I click on control, so I have so many condition types. Okay. You can see there are so many condition types in the pricing procedure and you can see what are the 16 fields that we have in this pricing procedure. Step, counter, condition type, description, from, to, manual, required, statistical, print, subtotal, requirement, alternative calculation type, alternative base type, account key, and accruals. So these are the 16 important fields that we have in pricing procedure. See, each and every field has its own functionality. Okay. So now let us see in detail about this 16 fields in pricing procedure. Now, what is the first one we have? So first one we have step. Okay. So what is the functionality of this step? So step number is nothing but, okay, so this is the step 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So whatever the values that we have, these is nothing but steps. Okay. So what is the function of this step? So step number specifies the sequence of condition types in pricing procedure, in which sequence we need to maintain the condition type. Okay. So here you can see this is the sequence. Okay. So 10 means what? A base price. 30 means what? It is nothing but other condition type like discount condition type. And we have freight condition types and we have tax condition types. So all these condition types are placed in sequence with the help of step. Okay. And these step number, and one more important about the step is that these step number will also be used in from and to field to determine the base value. Okay. These are the two functionalities of step. Okay. So what is the functionality of step? Step number will specify the sequence of condition types in pricing procedure. Now, what is the second one? Second one is that step number will also be used in in from. This is not from. Okay. So this is from. Okay. From. Okay. So step number will also be used in from and to. For poem. Okay. So these are the two important functionalities of step. Okay. So step number will help to specify the sequence of condition type in pricing procedure. This step number is also used in from and to field to calculate the base value. So you can say this is to and this is from and this is to. In this from and to we are using the step numbers like 10, 20. So these are the functionality of step number. So now what is the second step we have? The second step we have is counter. Now, what is the functionality of this counter? we use counter if there is no space between if we okay we use counter if there is no space between two steps to add one or more condition type. So if you see here, suppose I will take 1 2 3 4 5 6 as my step number. In future I want to add any one condition type in between the steps. That time I can use counter. So this is the functionality of counter. So now the next we have condition type. Now what is the functionality of this condition type? So condition type controls what type of price component or price element it is. Okay. So what type of price element? So it basically this condition type itself represents what kind of price element it is. Okay. So for example, if I take ZZPR, okay, ZZPR is a condition type and this condition type is nothing but my base value. Now K004 is a condition type. Now what kind of price element it is? It is nothing but discount type. Now K005 is also a condition type, but what type of condition type it is? It is also a discount condition type. Now K007 and K020 is also a discount condition type. So what kind of price element these are? So these are discount condition types. Now coming to KF00, this is also a condition type, correct? Now what type of condition type it is? It is a freight condition type. Okay. Now Z pack, ZL loading charges. So all these are also one type of condition type. Okay. Or one type of price element. Now coming to taxes, even these taxes are represented by condition type. So and VPRS, it is a cost of the material. So VPRS is also a condition type. Now all these together represents the price elements for the pricing structure. Okay. So discount condition type, and some are we are charging for the customers, we are giving discounts for the customers, and we are collecting tax from the customers. So all these are condition types. Now we have something called description. Now what is the functionality of this description? So let me go to my Excel sheet. So we have covered this condition type. So condition type specifies the type of price component in the pricing structure. Now we have description. So we use description to describe the condition types into sales document pricing, which will be useful for end users. So description will also be used to bifurcate the pricing structure. For example, base value, gross value, net value, total value, etc. Any step, if we enter only description, then for that step we have to check statistical. Now what is the meaning of all these 3 points? Okay. Now this description, okay, whatever the descriptions we have, no. So this description will help to bifurcate the pricing procedure. For example, here I have added one description. So this description will help me to bifurcate that this is nothing but the selling price. Okay. Now I have entered the gross value as my description. So this gross value from till this base value, it will help me to know that this is nothing but the discount condition types. Okay. So like this description will help. Okay. These descriptions will help to bifurcate the pricing procedure, and also it will help the users to understand this. For example, okay, for example, I will create one sales order slash NVA01. Okay. Click enter. Okay, and what was the second step we have? So any step, okay, any step, if we enter only description, then for that step we have to check a statistical. So if you see my pricing procedure, this is just a description. This has no condition type. Now gross value is a description. This has no condition type. Net value is just a description. This has no condition type. Now if you see all the description, okay, just description. Okay, here we have just description. So for these steps, you have to check a statistical. Okay. For these steps, you have to check a statistical. This is a rule. Okay. For net value, you have to check this statistical. Okay. So now I will create one sales order. I will enter the customer. Okay. Now I will enter the material. I will give order quantity as and click enter. So now what end user will do? End user will double click on this line item. He will go to condition tab. Now he will understand this structure. So if you see here, so this is the base value. Now this is the gross value. This is the net value. So this is nothing but net value net value plus tax value, total amount. Okay. I will extend this with this side. Okay. So if you see, okay, it is truncated. Okay, total amount is nothing but net value plus GST amount, and this is the cost and this is the profit margin. So like this, it will be helpful for the end user to understand the pricing structure in the sales order. So this is the functionality of description. Okay, any step with description, for that particular step we have to check a statistical. So this is very, very important. And the other functionality of this description is nothing but it will help to bifurcate the pricing structure. So now what is the next field we have? So next we have is from. Now what is the functionality of this from? So from is a standard base, very important. Okay, from is a standard base. So from will help to determine the base value to calculate the condition type value. Okay, so now if you see, I have a material discount, correct? Now these material discount should be calculated on what? Now we have customer material discount. Now this has to be calculated on what? Now we have customer discount. This customer discount should be calculated on which value? Now this will help by something called from. Now material discount will be calculated on this 20. Okay, and customer or material discount will be calculated on this 20, and customer discount, see I have given here 20, so which means that the customer discount will be calculated on 20. But what is my 20? My 20 is nothing but 10. So whatever my price, that price will come here. Okay, which is nothing but step number 20. On these 20, all the discounts will be calculated. Now coming to the freight. Now the freight will be calculated on step number 70. Okay. So similarly, the packing charges will be calculated on step number 70, and loading charges will be calculated on step number 70. So this is the functionality of from. Okay. So from will help to determine the base value to calculate the condition type value. Okay. Now coming to two. So now what is the importance of two? So two will be used to cumulate the values of multiple steps which are in sequence. Okay. So that's all. So we have covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have covered six important fields in pricing procedure. Now, what is the seventh field we have? So seventh field we have manual. Okay. So any condition type. Okay. What do you mean by manual? So manual means that condition type will be determined into sales document manually, but not automatically. So now let us see what do you mean by manual. Any condition type, if we check a manual, then system will not determine the condition type automatically into sales document. So user has to enter it manually. In standard, all header condition types are manual. So for example, what I will do, I will add one condition type here. So go to new entries. So let me see in which step number I have to add. Okay. I'll go to V/08. Go to V/08. So go to positions. I will go to my pricing procedure. So select this, click on controls. So now I will add one 35. Okay. So go to new entries. I'll take step number 35. Okay. Condition type HA00. Click enter. Okay. This is percentage discount and this is header percentage discount. Now come back. Now come back. Now this header percentage discount should be calculated on step number 20, and this is a manual. Okay, I will click on manual and I will save this particular pricing procedure. Okay, I will save this. So now what happens? Now I will create one sales order. Okay, I'll go to slash NVA01. I'll go to VA01, click enter. Now I will give the customer PO number, material, I'll give 10, click enter. Now I will double click on this line item and I will go to condition tab. If you see HA00 has not been determined into sales document, I will go to analysis. Now this is my HA00. So if I click on this, you can see manual condition. So this condition type will not be determined automatically into sales order because this particular condition type is a manual condition. Now I'll come back. Okay, now I'll come back. Now I will go to header. I will go to header, and this is header discount. Okay, I'll go to condition tab. So we have something called here insert row. Okay, I will click on insert row. I will give HA00 and I will give, for example, 1% discount. Click enter. Now I'll go up. Now I'll go up. Okay. So now I will select this particular line item. If you see the condition value is 0, I will click on activate. Click on activate. Now you can see we are offering 250 rupees as discount. Now these 250 is calculated on 25,000. Now I will come back. Okay, now I'll come back. Now I will double click on this line item. If I go to condition tab, you can see HA00 has been determined into sales document. So this is the functionality of manual condition type. So sometimes the client want to give manual discount. Only some higher authority, they will go to change mode of this sales order. Then they will give special kind of discount for the customer. So this is the functionality of what manual. Okay, go to controls. The next field we have is required. So now what is the functionality of this required? Okay. So any condition type, see, we have so many condition types, correct? In this particular pricing structure. So any condition type, if we check required, okay. So concentrate here. So any condition type, if we check required, and if that condition type is not determined to sales document, then system will not allow to save the sales document. So that is a functionality of requirement, okay, or required, okay. So what is the functionality of a required? Any condition type, okay. If you take any condition type, if I check required, and if that condition type is not determined into sales order, then system will not allow to save the sales document. For example, just now I created one sales document, correct? Now, if you say K004 and K005 has been determined, so I'll go to here K004 and K005. So for example, what I will do, I will check K020 as required and I will save this pricing procedure. Now I will create one sales order. Okay. So now I'll go to slash NVA01, go to VA01, click enter. Now I will take the sold to party. I will enter the PO number. Okay. So now I will take the material. I will give the quantity 10. I will click enter. Okay. So if you see that pricing error, mandatory condition type is missing. Now if I double click on this, if I go to condition tab here, so you can see mandatory condition K020 is missing. So this is the functionality of required. So if I check required to any one of the condition type, and if that condition type does not appear in sales order, then system will not allow to save the sales order. So in real time, what we will do, we will check required for this price. Okay, for this base price, we will check required. So only if we have this value, then only system will go for the next condition type and it will execute. Okay, so now I will save this particular pricing procedure. Okay, so hope you understood the functionality of required. The next field we have is statistics. Now, what do you mean by statistic? So any condition type. So if you see, we have so many condition type. Any condition type, if you check a statistic, then that particular condition type will have no effect on the net value. This is one important point. The second important point is that the value of this condition type, okay, the value of this condition type will not be posted into accounting. So these are the two functionalities of statistics. Okay. So if I come here, what is the ninth field? I have statistical. So any condition type, if we check a statistical, then it will have two important effect. So first one is the value of the condition type will not affect the net value, and the value of the condition type will not be posted into accounting. So these are the two important points if we check a statistic. So now in standard, the statistic condition types are VPRS, SKTO, PI01, KUMU, and all bifurcation steps are statistical condition type. Now, for example, for example, if you see this sales order, okay, if you see this sales order, so I have this 25,000 is the selling price. So I'm giving 2,500 as discount. So my amount is 22,500. On this 22,500, system is calculating freight charge, packing charge, and loading charge. So after calculating everything, system is proposing me 23,920. Okay. Now on these 23,920, what system is doing? System is calculating 18% tax. So if you see 23,920 is my net value. So if you see 23,920 is my net value and 4,305.60 is my tax value. Okay. Now, what do you mean by statistical? So now let us see. So what I told, if you check any condition type as a statistical, then then the value of the condition type will not impact the net value. For example, I have checked statistical for K007. So K004 and K005. Okay. So K004 and this is my K005. So I have checked statistical for both the condition type and I will save this. Okay. Now I will save this. Now I will create one sales order. If you see 23,920 is my net value for 10 quantity. So I'll go to VA01. Okay. I'll go to VA01, click enter. I will take the customer. I will take the PO number. I will take the material. I will enter 10, click enter. Now, if I double click on this line item, if I go to condition tab, if you see the quantity is 10 only, but if you see the net value is 26,420. So even though we are able to see the value of discount, but this discount will not impact my net value. So system will not consider. So this is just for information purpose. So if you scroll towards right side, you can see this statistical check mark. Okay. So that particular condition type, okay, that particular condition type is a statistical in nature, and this will not impact my net value and the value, okay, and the condition value also will not be posted into accounting. So this is the functionality of statistic. And also we check statistic for all the bifurcation steps, that is base value, gross value, net value. So for all these cases, we will check that the statistical, okay. So this is the functionality of statistics. So now I will uncheck this and I will uncheck this and I will save this particular pricing procedure. Okay, now I will create one sales order. So I'll go to slash and VA01. Okay, VA01, click enter. Now I will take the customer, I will take the PO number, material, order quantity 10, click enter. Now if I double click on this and now if I go to condition tab, so if you see the price is 23,920 because these two conditions are not statistic. Okay, so if I come right side, you can see it is not statistic and it will impact the net value. It will have some effect on the net value. So this is the functionality of statistic. Now, what is the next field we have? Next field we have is print. Okay, so this field controls whether to print the condition value amount. Okay, so whatever the condition value amount we have, no, so whether we want to print in the output or not. So output means what? In the invoice form. Okay, that is a functionality of this print. So if you want to print, okay, maintain X or blank. Okay, so if you want to print the value of this condition amount, so you have to maintain X. Okay, you have to maintain X. And for VPRS, what we will do, we will take S. Okay, we will take S. Okay, so this is the functionality of print. Okay, so next we have is subtotal. So this subtotal is a very important concept. Okay, sometimes in interview directly they will ask what do you mean by subtotal and what are the important things that you know about the subtotal. Okay, these things they can ask directly in the interview. So now let us see what do you mean by subtotal. Okay, so I will go to the Excel sheet. Okay, we have covered the print. Okay, so this field controls whether to print the condition type value into output print or not. Okay, so if we don't want to print, then leave the field blank. If we want to print, then maintain X or S. X means if we want to print at item level. S means if we want to print at header level. All header condition types will maintain that as S. Okay. Now, what do you mean by subtotal? It will be used to store the value of condition type in some temporary tables and fields for the purpose of further calculation. Okay, I will repeat this statement once again. Okay, please focus. It will be used, okay, subtotal. It will be used to store the value of the condition type. Okay, for example, I will create one sales order. I will create one sales order. Okay, I will give quantity as 100. Click enter. Okay. Now double click on this line item. Now I'll go to condition tab. Now what is the statement for this subtotal? It is used to store the value of the condition type. Now if you see, we have so many condition type here and these are the values of the condition type. Okay, these are the values of the condition type. Now, what is the statement? It is used to store the value of the condition type in some temporary table and fields for the purpose of further calculation. So what do you mean by this further calculation? Now let us assume that, okay, let us assume that we are giving some credit limit for customer. Okay, we are giving some credit limit for the customer. Let me say it as some 1 lakh. Okay, so I am giving credit limit for the customer 1 lakh. Now, whenever the sales order value crosses 1 lakh, now system has to block that particular sales order, correct? So we will cover the concept of credit limit in coming class, but now in layman term, I'm explaining if a customer credit limit is having 1 lakh, for example, I have a credit card, the limit of the credit card is 1 lakh. I am going to the shopping mall. I can use that card only for 1 lakh. Okay, if I try to use that card for more than 1 lakh, system will not allow. I mean, the card will not allow. So similarly, what happens if the credit limit of a customer is 1 lakh? Now, if the sales order value exceeds 1 lakh, then system will block this particular sales order. How it is going to block? It is now how this calculation is happening. This calculation is happening with the help of subtotal. See, for example, what I will do, I will give subtotal as A. Okay, I will give subtotal as A. So what do you mean by A? Carry overall price, which is credit price. Okay, if I give A here, okay, if I give A here, what will happen? So system will take this base value. Okay, system will take this base value. It will compare with the customer credit limit and it will give the final value. If the final value crosses the credit limit, then system will block or else system will allow. So this subtotal, what subtotal will do? Subtotal will help to store the value. For example, I have given A, I have given subtotal A in 20. It is nothing but base value. So what system will do? System will take this 2,50,000. System will take this 2,50,000 and it will store in some temporary table and fields. Okay. Now what system will do? System will compare this value with the credit limit value. And if the credit limit value is less than this selling price, then system will block. So we will maintain subtotal on the net value, on the net value. So this is the final amount the customer has to pay, correct? Including GST, everything. So if I scroll down, so not here. So you have to maintain here. So I will remove this and I will keep that A here. Click enter and save this. So in real time, what we will do, so we will maintain subtotal A on the total amount, which is nothing but my net value plus tax. Okay. So what system will do? System will store the value. So in this case, what is my total value? So this is my total value. Okay. This particular line. Okay. So which is nothing but 2,82,256 is my final amount. Okay. This is my final amount including GST. Now, what system will do? System will use these value for further calculation. Further calculation means what? For example, credit limit. For example, for credit limit. So we will maintain A. So this is the functionality of subtotal. Okay. So we will maintain subtotal A for credit limit and we will maintain subtotal 7 for rebates. Okay. So we will discuss about rebates in coming classes. So this is a functionality and we will maintain subtotal VPR B, okay, for VPRS. Okay, if I go to pricing procedure, if I scroll down, here you can see B. Okay, so A, B, and usually seven. Okay, A, B, and 7. So these are the three frequently used subtotals. So in interview they will ask, okay, can you please name some subtotals? Okay, or they will ask what is the subtotal for a credit limit. So you have to mention A. For rebates, it is 7, and for VPRS, it is B. So this is the functionality of subtotal. So what do you mean by subtotal? So subtotal will help to store the value of the condition type in some temporary tables and fields for the purpose of further calculation. So now next we have is requirement. So now let us see what do we mean by requirement and what are the type of requirements that we have and what frequent requirement we use in real time. Now, what do you mean by requirement? So requirement is a condition. Okay. This requirement is a condition which system will check every time while determining condition type into sales document. Now, this is my pricing procedure, correct? So now I will go to slash OVA01. I will create one sales order. Okay. Now I will enter my order type. I will enter sales or distribution channel division and I will enter the customer. I will enter the PO. Now I will enter the material. I will give order quantity 10. I will enter. Okay. Now I will double click on this line item. Now I will go to condition tab. Now if I go to condition tab, you can see this particular condition type is determined into sales order. Even this particular price types or condition type has been determined into sales order. How are they defined? Now, what is a prerequisite or what is a condition that this particular condition type should be determined into sales document type? Okay. So this is nothing but preconditions. For example, if you want to get any scholarship from your college, you should have some conditions, right? For example, your parents' income should be less than 2 lakhs. Okay. So these are the conditions to avail the scholarship. So similarly, if any condition type that has to be determined into sales document, then there will be some condition and that condition is nothing but a requirement. Okay. So now let us see what are the different types of requirement we have. Okay. So now first one is in standard. Okay. In standard, the requirement type is 2. Okay. Requirement 2 checks that the pricing field in item category should be maintained with X or B. So for example, what is my item category? So I will come back. I will come back. Now, what is my item category? ZTAZ. So now I will go to slash OVOV7 transaction code. Okay. Now, what is my item category? VOV7. Click enter. Click on S. Okay. Now go to positions. What is my item category? ZTAZ is my item category. Now double click on this item category. Now if you see the pricing is X. So that is why this particular condition type has been determined into sales document type. Okay. So now what do you mean by this two? For example, if I click F4, if I click F4, okay. So what do you mean by two? Two means item with pricing. Okay. Now, if you double click on this source text, so you will have some logics which is written in the backend. Okay. So this will take some time. Okay. If you see, so these are the logics which is written in the backside. If you see that KOMPPRSFD should be equal to B or X. Okay. So B or X. So this is X. And if I F4, so we have B also. B means pricing for free goods. Okay. So that particular, okay, this particular condition type, okay, this particular condition type will be determined into sales order only if that particular item category, okay. So only if that particular item category has a pricing type X or B. So now what I will do, I will come back, okay, I will close this, okay, I'll come back. Okay, so now I will close this also slash n. So now I will go to change mode of this. Okay, I'll go to SM12. Okay, so it is logged by someone. Okay, I will select all this and I will delete this. Okay, click on S. Okay, so now I'll go to slash n VOV7. Okay. I'll go to VOV7. Now what is my item category? So this is my item category. Now double click on this item category. So now I will remove this pricing. Okay. Now I'll remove this pricing. Okay. Now I will save this. Now I will create sales order. Okay. Now I will create sales order. So one TR will be generated. Okay. So now I will create sales order slash O VA01. I'll go to VA01. So click enter. I will give the customer, I will give the PO number, I will give the material, I'll give order quantity. And if I click enter, now if I double click on this line item, if I go to condition type, See, you can see that ZZPR condition type has not determined into sales document because the item category, because in item category ZTAZ, the pricing field is blank. Now, if I go to analysis, now if I click on ZZPR, you can see condition ignored, requirement 002 is not fulfilled. So this is the functionality of requirement. Okay. So now I will place the pricing as X and I will save this particular item category. So this is a standard. So this is a standard. Okay. So what is the standard? The standard requirement to checks that the pricing field in item category should not be blank. Okay. It should be either X or B. Now the requirement for VPRS. So if VPRS should be determined into sales document, then what is the condition? Okay. So requirement 4 checks that determine cost field in item category should be checked. Okay. So in this particular item category, we have determined cost. So this field should be checked. Then only VPRS condition type will be determined into sales order. So now what I will do, I will create one sales order. I'll go to VA01. Okay, I'll go to VA01. I will enter the customer. Okay, I will enter the material. I will enter order quantity 10. Now I will double click on this line item. If I go to condition tab, you can see that VPRS. Okay, I'll come down. I'll come down. You can see the VPRS has been determined into sales document. So how VPRS is determined into sales document? Okay. So because in item category, this determine check is tick. Okay. So now what is the next condition we have? The next condition is ordering company and delivering company should be same. So in our case, the ordering company and delivering company is also same. And next one is plant should not be blank. So now what I will do, I will uncheck this. I will uncheck and I will save this. So now what I will do, I will create one sales order. Okay. So now I will go to /NVA01. Okay. So click enter, give the sold to party, give the PO number. Now give the material, enter order quantity 10. Okay. So now if I double click on this line item, so now if I go to condition tab, if I scroll down, you can see the VPRS is not determined into sales document. If I go to analysis, now if I go to VPRS, you can see condition ignored 004 is not fulfilled. Okay. So this is the functionality of determine cost in item category ZTAZ, and this is linked with the, okay, this is linked with the pricing procedure. Okay. So this is my pricing procedure. If I go inside, so this is the requirement. Okay, this is a requirement. Now, if I come down, you can see for VPRS. Okay, for VPRS, the requirement is 4. Okay, so this is the functionality of requirement 4. So these are the basic questions in interview they will ask. Okay, so what is the functionality of requirement 2? What is the functionality of requirement 4? Now, the requirement for STKO condition type is 9. Okay, this is kind of a cash discount. Okay, usually what we will do in material master. Okay, I'll just come back. So we don't have that STKO condition type in our pricing procedure. So usually what will happen, that STKO condition type will be determined. Okay, I will show you. So that will be determined only there is one control. There is one control in material master. Okay. So how can I go to directly from your material master? Okay, okay. I have to select this and click on this display material. Okay. So now you can see the cash discount. Okay. This is the check mark. Okay. So if it is unchecked, then STKO condition type will not be determined into sales order. So this is the functionality of requirement 9. So what is the functionality of requirement 9? The requirement for STKO condition type is 9. In material master, we have to check that field. Okay. Next, the requirement type is 10. Okay. What is the next requirement type we have? The next requirement type we have is 10. So what is 10? 10 is for taxes. Okay. So here you can see our pricing procedure. So 10 is for taxes. So what is the functionality of 10? So 10 will check the plant should not be blank in the sales order. Okay. If the plant is blank in the sales order, okay. So for example, I will remove this plant. Okay. I will remove this plant, click enter. So now if I double click on this line item, now if I go to condition tab, you can see system will not determine GST. Okay. System will not determine GST because the plan should not be blank in sales order. So that will be taken care by requirement 10. Now, similarly, for free goods we have some concept which is called as free goods. So in coming classes, let us discuss about free goods also. So we have the requirement for R100 condition type is 55. Okay. So we have a condition type. That condition type is R100. For that R100, the requirement is 55. Okay. So requirement 55 checks that the pricing field in item category should be B. Okay. Usually in Vivo V7. Okay. That for that particular item category, it should be B. So I know it is difficult to understand now for the freshers, but going forward, you will understand the functionality of this requirement. Okay. Requirement 55 and the requirement 59. Okay. This requirement 55 and this requirement 59. So this both you will understand in free goods. Okay. Now the requirement for PI01 condition type is 22. This is like for intercompany STO. Okay. So requirement 22 checks that the ordering company and delivering company should be different. So this is the functionality of requirement. Now we have a concept which is called as a rebate. Okay. For that particular rebate condition type, the requirement type is 24. And what it will check, requirement 24 checks that the document should be billing document. So that's all. So that is the reason the rebate condition will determine only in the billing document. So these are the different requirement types we have. So in interview, if they ask, you can explain 3 to 4 requirement. Okay. Try to explain standard requirement 2 and BPRS requirement and STKO and access. Okay. So sometimes they will ask about free goods also. What are the requirement type in that we have in free goods? Okay. Or they will ask what is the requirement for NRAB condition type and what is the requirement for R100 condition type. So these questions are frequently asked in the interview. So now the next one we have alternative calculation type. So in interview they will ask what is the difference between alternative calculation type and alternative base type. Okay. Or they might ask you, can you please explain what is the alternative calculation type and in which case we will go for alternative calculation type. So now let us see in detail about alternative calculation type and alternative base type and what is the difference between these two. Okay. Now alternative calculation type is a formula. Okay, it is just a formula and even alternative base type is a formula. Okay, so both alternative calculation type and alternative base type are formulas and these formulas are responsible. Okay, or these formulas will be developed by ABAPers and the T code is used is VOFM. Okay, so ABAPers are responsible to develop these formulas and the T code is VOFM. Okay, so both are formulas. Now, what do you mean by alternative calculation type? Okay, so if we maintain formula in alternative calculation type, then system calculates and proposes condition value. So now I will go to pricing procedure. I have something called calculation type. This is nothing but alternative calculation type. Suppose if I maintain any alternative calculation type against any condition type. Okay, I'm repeating again. Please concentrate. If I maintain alternative calculation type against any condition type, then system will calculate and it will propose condition value directly. Okay. So now what do you mean by alternative calculation type? Suppose if I maintain any alternative calculation type against any condition type, then system will calculate and propose the condition value. For example, if you see we have something called price margin. Okay, we have something called price margin. So for price margin, we will maintain calculation type as 11. So now what do you mean by 11? So 11 is nothing but what is my total amount? What is my total amount minus my cost gives the profit margin. Okay. So we don't have any condition records here to maintain condition records. So we want system to calculate and propose what is the profit margin, correct? See, for these cases, we will maintain condition records, correct? We will maintain condition records and system will propose the values. But coming to the profit margin, okay, we are not maintaining any from and to because we have so many steps in between. Correct. So we have so many steps in between. So if client is asking, I want to know what is the profit margin. So what do you mean by profit margin? It is nothing but what is the total amount that the customer is paying minus what is the material cost. Okay. That gives me the profit margin. Suppose if I click F4 here, suppose if I click F4, so we have 11. If I select this and if I click on the source text, so there will be some formulas which is written. Okay, there will be some formulas which is written. If you see KOMPNETWR, which is nothing but net value. So net value minus cost gives the profit margin. Okay, so this is where we will go for alternative calculation type. So when we will go for alternative calculation type, suppose, okay, suppose if we want to calculate something, it is some custom calculations. Some custom calculations, we don't have any condition records to be maintained. In those cases, we will go for alternative calculation type. So this alternative calculation type will directly give me the profit margin. So suppose I will go to VA01. I'll go to transaction VA01. Okay. I will enter the order type and all the necessary details. I will enter the customer, I will enter the PO number, and I will enter the material, I will enter 10 quantity. Okay. So now I will double click on this line item. Now, if I go to conditions, if I scroll down, okay, if I scroll down, okay, if I scroll down, see what system is giving profit margin automatically. So system is calculating what is the profit margin and it is giving me the condition value. See, I did not maintain any condition record for profit margin, okay, because I don't have any condition type here, correct? So if you see here, we can maintain alternative calculation type against any calculate against any condition type, or for any text also we can maintain. Okay, this alternative calculation type. So in this case, what I have maintained alternative calculation type against the profit margin, not against any condition type. Okay, so what system has done? System has given me what is the profit margin. 22,420 is my profit margin. Okay, so like this system will calculate and it will propose the profit margin. Okay. So this is how the alternative calculation will work. Now, what do you mean by alternative base type? Okay. Alternative base type is nothing but if we maintain formula in alternative base type, then system calculates and proposes the base value. Okay. So in this case, what system is doing? System is directly giving me condition value. System directly gives me the condition value, but in this case, what system will do? System will propose the base value. To convert that base value to condition value, we have to maintain the condition record. Okay, so if we maintain formula in alternative base type, we need to maintain condition record to convert base value into condition value. So this is the difference between alternative calculation type and alternative base type. So if we want to maintain any condition record, then we have to go for alternative base type. If we want system to give direct value, okay, then we will go for alternative calculation type. So this is the functionality of alternative calculation type and alternative base type, and these are nothing but formulas which will be given by the appapper. So we have to give logic for them, and they will give the number, and we have to assign that number in that particular condition type or wherever it is as per the requirement. Okay. So next one we have account key. Now, what is the functionality of account key? Okay. So we have something called account key, correct? So we will be responsible to create these account keys, and sometimes what will happen, from FI, we will get this account key to be used. Okay. So now what is the functionality of account key? Okay. So account key is one of the parameter to determine GL account while posting invoice values into accounting. Okay. So this account key will help to determine the GL account, post the invoice values into accounting. Okay. Now, any condition, if it is not statistical, then we have to maintain account key. Otherwise, system will not generate accounting key document. Okay, so this is the functionality of account key. So two functionalities. Okay, so account key will help to determine the perfect GL account to post the invoice values. Second one, if we don't maintain account key, for example, I will not maintain account key for this. Okay, now system has determined this condition type into sales order. Now, while creating invoice, system will search right for which GL account that these should be posted. Now, which will bring the GL account key, correct? Account key is responsible to bring the GL account, correct? If there is no account key, then system will not generate accounting document. So this is the functionality of account key. Now we have accruals. So now what do you mean by accruals? So accruals. So keeping some amount aside from each and every transaction. Okay. Whenever we create invoice, we will keep some amount aside in each and every transaction and we will post into provisional account to meet the future requirement for rebate settlement. Okay. So when we are discussing about rebate, you will get to know the definition of accruals and we have something called requirement, correct? So for rebates, we have requirement 24 and coming to for the free goods. Okay, for free goods we have 55 and 59 as requirement. So 55 is for R100 condition type and 59 is for NRAB condition type. So these are the 16 important fields in ECC. Okay, so definitely they will ask some questions on this. Now what is the 17th field in S4 HANA? So now I want you all to answer what is the 17th field in S4 HANA. Please comment what is the 17th field in S4 HANA and what is the functionality of that 17th field in S4 HANA. So I will be waiting for your comments. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe because it will help you to get the notification of my upcoming video. So thank you so much. Keep learning and grow. Have a nice day.